Hi, good morning. Welcome to JoyNews Interactive. My name is Miss G, and Entertainment General. I give you the opportunity to express yourself to the world right here on JoyNews Interactive. We are live on the JoyNews channel on Multi TV, DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144. Leave your comments and let's get talking on our page. It's JoyNews on TV on both on Facebook and Twitter. On Instagram, JoyNews on TV. Now, our conversation today will be under the hashtag #AskNanaAdo. Hashtag #AskNanaAdo. So today at the banquet hall of the Flagstaff House, some selected journalists and media practitioners will question the president on some of the decisions he's taken since he assumed power. On the scale of 0 to 100, how would you rate the performance of President Akufo-Addo?
I don't know what the president has really done. Business is not going on well. If things don't get better,
Yes,
the president hasn't done anything, but I heard he came to meet a contract, and that must end before he starts with his business. He has to work because I can't see anything he has done. We are rallying behind him to fight against Galamsey. The president should do something to stop the killing of the police and military men.
So far, so good. We have been struggling. Even the government is struggling. So we will give him some time to operate. So as time goes on, we will try. We will try because for now, business is hard.
From January up to this month, in fact, for butchers, we are facing a lot of difficulties. We are in crisis. Whenever we buy cow, in fact, we are losing a lot because most of the cows are coming from our neighboring countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and the rest. And you know, they deal with what? Safer. So it's affecting it a lot.
And those are your voices from the street. But back in the studio here, let's read your messages on Facebook. And Justice Rolex Akoli says, Boromia is doing great. He continues to borrow. The thieves are now showing movie skills at La Paz, where a policeman has to run for his life. Our president is doing great social traveling. So our second lady, you mean the vice president's wife, loves fashion, and we are proud of her. Kennedy Japan is still in opposition, waiting for a contract from his government. I don't want to continue. On the scale of 0 to 100%, I give them hashtag #AmorFire. And that generates about 15 response from you. And Leslie Sterling says, and Mahama also used our money. Okay, so let's move on to some others. Now, well done with, I love your analysis. Okay, so I'm sure you're talking about what happened earlier before now. And Titular Part is the one advising Marimia to borrow money. And Stalin again says, is he using the loans to develop our country whilst your incompetent party NDC puts in quotes during your government you borrow to share to your own party members? Hope you have seen how Wyoming is now suffering. And he continues to quote, you see John DeMello. Okay, so a lot of comments from you. And Philip says, if Nana is also doing what the incompetent Mahama did, then what is Nana? You are asking. Sterling again comes and says, all what you know is propaganda. You see your party's real position now. You talk as though you are the opposition leader. Laugh out loud, and somebody tagged Sterling in this comment. So let's move on to some other comments. And Adomanko says, I beg, how did the ex-president Mahama get the name Kofi Dubai? He couldn't stay in the country for just a whole week. In fact, he, the ex-president Mahama, was the visiting president of Ghana, if you've forgotten so soon. And Nana Kwame says, so you can Okay, he's responding to Nana Kwame. So it's a back and forth between Sterling and some other people who have commented on his post. Let's move on to some other. Nana Adam says the price of goods shot up, utility bills still shooting up, lawlessness is on the rise, insecurity is on the rise, Galamsey fights good, unemployment still exists, dollar is still on the rise faster than before. Corruption and thievery is in the making. Bost and Ken Bond borrowing on the rise. And Owusu says, I grade them 44.40%. That took the NDC to opposition. They should be very careful. You promise heaven after 6 months, not even an angelic movement to dance to while we wait Christ himself. Hell here and there. Human beings lose their lives like animals. No single hint on when and how the one district factory project is going to be started. That's not true. There's been hints on that one. And Justice Kobina says, hey, so is there a government in this country from last 8 years ago? You people started talking bad things against the NDC. Now look at your faces. Okay. Nana, I know you already know your standard in 2020, Bia. Fake people, Mahama is far better than you when it comes to ruling a country like Ghana. Boromia and his president, you talk too much in opposition and do. Okay, so, all right. And Kate says, I think it is too early to post an assessment of the current government because this time is used for the appointment and planning of how you would administer the state in your style. However, it could be concluded based on some achievements so far that the current government is doing well in its first 6 months. If not anything at all, the first 6 months has been a drastic reduction. There's been a drastic reduction in the inflation rate, 12.1%, the highest rate since 2013. So we'll rate the government at 70%. And so Nana Akufo-Addo, the president Akufo-Addo, effectively had dealt with the issues of corruption to your satisfaction. We are asking you that, has he dealt with those issues as he promised before he took the reins of power? Let's hear what you've been saying.
It's been pretty slow, but it's kind of steady. We're hoping that things is going to get better because I believe they're putting measures in place and it's going to work.
Okay, 6 months in office is to me, I haven't seen anything yet, and we're still hoping. He's the president of the country, so we're praying that things will work out actually well. He promised to reduce tariffs, and tariffs are still standing, and things are just going up and down. And we are praying, and we are hoping that he'll work things out well.
Yeah, I think for the first 6 months, he's doing well because I think right now the country is a bit stabilized now, and I think we should give him more time because he really has a lot to do.
Oh, well, I think the president has done well. We should give him much time for him to accomplish all his mission. Because as we are speaking now, they've started the planting for food and jobs, which I can really testify for it. So I think we should give him more time.
And let's do the president's assessment on Facebook as well. And Azuda says, why should a crowd be used to determine whether the president is performing or not? You should stop concentrating on your Accra and talk about other cities and towns. That's why you have the opportunity to join us via social media. Ron Kent says, I think that aspect of his role isn't up to expectation. They sweep and leave the refuse at the marketplaces. The AMA and the city authorities aren't working, and we all pass by the refuse every morning and see it as normal. Sterling says he's on course. NDC used 8 years to destroy the place, so let's give Nana little time. It shall be well. And Kumashi says, haha, he promised to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa. Very laudable indeed. Accra is now the baggage city in Africa. The only campaign promise I see being fulfilled is the Galamsey business booming. And Yeah, isn't paying the youth. Okay, so you mean the YEA isn't paying the youth in the country? His government isn't doing well in that part. And ask him about his promise of restoring allowance for student nurses for the 2016-2017 final year students. And Apu, deceitful government. What is new in Accra? You made Ghanaian youth waste their time campaigning for you. And Chemical Ali says, deal with the lawlessness in the country now, especially in the NPP. Nuama says, not yet, man. Accra Central is still dirty. Baller everywhere. The same old people in different colors. And good morning to you all. What is President Ado going to talk about? The lawlessness, the insecurity, fee-free, and corruption that engulf his government. Ghanaians are not substandard people. Hashtag Ask Nana. And Master, nothing is going on. Total failure, Bush is saying. And Abigail Owusu says 6 months, incompetent, plagiarized, clueless leaders with 110 contaminated. Okay, nothing to offer, just usual borrow to chop. And Accra clean talk is cheap if the president doesn't know. And Ask Nana why the 110 ministers and up to now they have not been paid. Why all these corruptions within seven months? Why all these insecurities, I guess you want to say, and why all these attacks on innocent citizenry by his affiliated party terrorist group? Why all these borrowing with terminology, partnership? Is it what he promised the voter? And why our utility bills are still going up every day, and you can now use it to purchase a 2-bedroom apartment and not to rent? What has he? Was he used to wine? I don't know. Is he sleeping? Ghanaians are worse off within these 6 months of his administration than ever. Why is he going for foreigners for the special prosecutor? Wouldn't it cost the taxpayer? Prices of commodities are rising after he introduced the VAT flat rate. Why is it what he promised the voters? And you were asking, Ablade says the president has failed totally. And Abwadi said equalization and lawlessness. Husseini says, I think he is doing his best. So far, so good. GH Coolkit says he's doing great. Yes, he's on course, says Jemfi. And Kujo says very poor, 0.1% chia. Aka says so far so good, 100% perfect is what Nate says. And those are comments on you, on if you think the president has fulfilled his promises to Ghanaians after 6 months of being in office. We take a break now. We're back with some more here on JoyNews Interactive. Please stay. Welcome back from the break, and we'll still dwell a bit more on the president's Akufo-Addo's 6 months in office and all that you've been saying to us on our social media platform. And Adriana Esiedu says, why is the president not declaring the state of emergency to deal effectively with the recent surge in lawlessness, since that will be an effective cure, you're asking? And Kofi Dazi says, my concern is the prosecuting of the alleged corrupt past officials in the incompetent and corrupt former President Mahama's government. And Musa Bawa says, Mr. President, some people are saying that your government gave orders for the third-class construction of the Boku-Bolgatanga Road instead of the already planned asphalted road by the John Mahama government. What is your response, Mr. President? And Elvis Ofusuyini says, my question is, what criteria does he use when selecting ministers for the various ministerial positions? Some are incompetent, you say. And Enoch Claude says, I voted for His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP because of the efforts and preparedness to fight corruption. But this is the instance, the bunch of thieves and criminals who looted the country's coffers to satisfy the parochial gains are still walking free without being prosecuted. You again promise of an independent prosecutor, but 6 months in government, yet no positive action. And Muniru says, ask President Ado, asked Nana Ado whether he took money from Bost manager during his campaign before giving him appointments, because Kennedy Ejapon talks about 700,000. I can't think far. And Burrowson says, I want the president to confirm or deny the rumors of the second and third year nurses students not receiving the allowance. And please remember, we voted you into power because of the allowance. We want our share because we have toiled a lot in the hospital to keep Ghanaians healthy, which have increased productivity. And Samuel says, Mr. President, why have graduates for the past 7 to 8 years been neglected, especially those from the major classroom educational universities, that's UCC and the University of Education, Winneba, and people with no clue in teaching have been employed as people teachers, making the teaching profession not a profession, because anybody at all can just be employed by our immediate employers at our expense. Why are our leaders destroying the future of the country by entrusting our kids into the hands of unprofessionals, you're asking? So today's a D-Day. We're asking you, what question or questions would you like the media to ask or put before His Excellency Nana Ado?
He promised that the poor will be rich. My question is, what is he going to do for us to be satisfied as citizens? All I ask from the president is for him to build the Malata market for us.
He
said he will give us free education, but we are not seeing of it.
Those are questions from the streets, and let's read your questions on Facebook. And Step Up says, many Ghanaians residing outside who contribute massively to the remittances are not allowed to vote, whilst criminals who are a burden to the society and economy vote. What measures has the government put in place to make Ghanaians in the diaspora vote during the election time? You're asking. Jenny Kubaji Barima says, Ghana under Kufuor has been 6 months of insecurity, increases in price of everything, including lorry fares, wanton borrowing, deliberately declaring people ghosts, failure to pay statutory payments, many corruption scandals, including the one at Bost, ministers insulting failed promises, including he refunding DKM monies and more, and many others. Okay, the government is okay. That's not a question. And the talk is too much. He told Ghanaians he's not going to borrow because there is money in the country. So he should explain to me the so-called bond from China, and also with this bond, how is he and his party going to get rid of them in this country, both the Galamsey and in the marketplaces? Thank you. Rahim says, as we are ready to serve motherland Ghana, we're also ready to be employed as graduates from various universities. So what are his plans for us? Because some of us have already finished our national service and are awaiting employment. I want to ask him when he will constitute the GIJ's governing council so I can graduate. It's been a year since we completed our MA programs, but we are still yet to graduate because of his hard, into comments, go slow approach to constituting the council. And Charles says, Your Excellency, we congratulate you on your first 6 months in office. The country's youth is still teamed with unemployed graduate teachers agitating for employment and calling for removal of untrained teachers in the second cycle schools. How far have you worked on this issue? Hashtag Ask Nana. And Kedem says, kindly ask Mr. President when the victims of the microfinance have closed doors under the watch of the incompetent NDC government, such as, okay, you're mentioning some companies, and well, That'll be it for JoyNews Interactive this morning. Stay tuned. We will take you live to the Flagstaff House with a live coverage of President's media encounter. My name is Ms. G, the Entertainment General. Thanks for watching. I'll be back later in the evening on JoyNews Prime with more entertainment for you. Have a great day.